Who is the lowest in the food chain and who is the highest? I don't know why I feel like I need to make this video. It's not gonna make anybody feel good, but at the same time, it kind of gives somebody a loophole. And that somebody is, of course, the INFP. So how can that be a positive when I'm the lowest in the food chain, Eric? Well, let's talk about how you can win, completely obliterate every other type, and why you're kind of set up to fail. Oh, here comes another rocking chair rant. She doesn't want me to sit, so I'm going to be standing. INF types have a lot of functions that go against them. INFJs will relate in their own way, but their stacks are very different. Actually working on a big video with that on YouTube right now. But to focus on the INFP, who are they really deep down? Well, subconsciously, you just flip every letter, ESTJ. And the ESTJ is the highest in the food chain. It all adds up mathematically. It'd be kind of cool, to kind of draw it out. But you can see how the INFPs are eaten alive by society. The ESTJs are the ones who devour. They are the most controlling. So you have the least controlling unless they're pushed to the wall. And when the INFP gets pushed to the wall, well, they're gonna have a lot of reasons why. Well, they're TI demon, they're TE inferior. When an INFP actually does act, it's a cannon and it explodes. It's a freaking atom bomb. And that's how the INFP wins. If they were in the military, they'd be the one back home with a switch in their hand to light that freaking bomb, working remotely, but when they attack, they attack. But every other way on daily functionality just seems to it's probably very irritating to be an INFP. My older brother's an INFP, I have a few friends that are, and I have a few people who kind of work for me who are INFP, and there are some easy frustrations that happen. INFPs do not make for good employees or reliable personnel. That is because they're SI child, mixed in with their TE inferior for they're actually acting upon something, being so sparse on that, then being FI dominant and NE parent, only acting about how they feel in that particular moment. It's very easy to make fun of an INFP, but that's not what I'm doing in this video. I'm trying to defend the INFP again, because again, the INFP got under my skin today. No matter how many times you ask an INFP to do something, you have to keep asking them and keep asking them. It's even if you threaten them in some way, they don't even act upon that. So I'm asking you as an ESFP, how do I relate to INFPs? Like, how do I get this INFP to close the daggum door? It's winter outside and there's a windstorm. And they just leave the door wide open, for example, here. But come on, seriously, bro. So anyway, I sent a message today. Hopefully that was, whatever. But, tell me how to work around you guys, work with you guys, because your stacks are not set up for you to win. The only way for an INFP to really win is if they are so creative and so unique, being FI dominant to NE parent, considering all the options, but creating worlds and then executing on something, which they do not do. They get joy out of creating, not by executing that creation. My elder brother would make levels in video games for me to play. As an ESFP, I'd get, I get excited about playing his levels that he would make. I'm working on a book that my INFP brothers he made, and that's the turmoil, isn't it? He didn't actually commit to finishing the book. So now I'm like, do I do your voiceover? Am I actually the voice of your book, bro? Recorded that first chapter and he's like, oh, I don't like the way that I wrote it. Not the way that I performed it. So now they're self-critical and perfectionistic, which again makes that working relationship a very difficult thing. So to wrap this up, why is the INFP the lowest in the food chain? Why is the ESTJ the dominant one on the food chain? Who cares and what can I do about it? How do I win as an INFP? Feel free to flood the comments on your frustrations of being this way. Because a part of me says, we were born a certain way, but the other part of me says, you know what? We made a lot of choices, and because of those choices, we are the way we are. So it's a mix of nature and nurture, in my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to throw that out there too. For somebody to change is a very difficult thing. Some would say you need to have some serious trauma that happens to you for you to actually change your cognition. But I think you can stay who you are, but just work on those weaknesses. Shadow side of your personality type. Being aware of them helps you not be frustrated by your own existence. And I know that these INFPs struggle. I've even been told by INFPs that they don't like INFPs. They understand, they see it, and they understand all this cognitive stuff and personality stuff so well that someone like me is just kind of like supporting what they're trying to tell their friends and family. For the other INFPs who don't even know what's going on, which frankly is a lot, it kind of is an eye-opener to what really frustrates people. I was told by an INFP to say to an INFP, you gave me a bad experience. That was a hurtful thing and something that can jar and shake an INFP. You gave me a freaking bad experience. Now that's SE. SE is a trickster function for the INFP though. So why would I play off of the trickster function in order to get them to close the daggum door? I don't know. You tell me. Deep down, we understand that the INFP is the ESTJ when they're pushed against the wall, but not necessarily. That's a subconscious approach. They can get controlling and demanding when they want something. When an INFP wants something, they want it badly. And it's fascinating to see an INFP with drive. So if you know any INFPs with drive, I hope you're out there. Second of all, if you're an INFP that struggles to finish and to hold yourself accountable, then bring in somebody who has a stronger TE. That would be where the ESTJ comes in. And I've seen INFPs praise the ESTJ. They just find that they're locking aggressive nature is inspiring to them. That's because they are literally the exact opposite. So whereas the INTJ is my opposite, ESFP, every letter's flipped. So for you want to find out who your opposite is, just flip every letter that you are. And that is who you are deep down, or when you're really relaxed, we could say, or maybe even when you're really stressed. I think it's more when you're relaxed. Whoop! That's a conversation we can have in the comments regarding subconscious versus archangel pair, where, you know, your outside letters are the same, but the inner letters are flipped, versus your shadow, where you have the inside letters are the same, outside letters are flipped. Sorry, reverse that, whatever, you know what I mean. So anyway, INFPs may be seen as weak or vulnerable or just shifty to the rest of the world. But to an INFP's world in here, they are the rock stars. They are the superstars. I know it. I have seen it. And when they show their creations, it's amazing what they can come up with. What you guys can come up with. You're very creative. That is your atom bomb. And if you use it and you share that with the world, you are not, there's no food chain to even consider. But when you don't, you're going to struggle. You're going to be highly depressed, highly critical of not only your own creations, but of yourself. And when that comes out against other people, an INFP who is irritated, that's not fun to be around, because then it gets really weird. And yeah, I don't know exactly how weird for other INFPs, but I know it's not a good place when an INFP is disturbed. So I'm not trying to make anybody feel disturbed with this video. I'm trying to help, but at the same time, I'm being critical, so I apologize about that. And I don't know where to go from here. I just know that if we looked at the food chain versus who's the most controlling versus who is the most submissive, or at least shoved into a submissive place, when even though they're not, INFPs will flip you off in their pocket. That doesn't mean they're flipping you off directly. An ESTJ will flip you off. An INFP, why are you hiding it in your pocket? You see what I'm saying? Stop cowering away. You have so much talent and so much to give, so much to who you are, that why do you need some ESFP weirdo like me to basically say this to you? So this is a direct message to the INFP again. And how do I get that INFP to close the frickin' door? Seriously, I just want to charge him the gas bill.